If you know what these are, then you're familiar with the term some assembly required. Hey y'all, I'm Millage Austin. Thanks for tuning back into my channel. Now, I personally enjoy the words some assembly required. It's a lot of fun for me to get something and it not already be together. You have to put some work, some blood, some sweat, some tears into it. And my daughter has already gotten at least 2 major toys that have required it. One is from her Uncle Joey. That is her Little Tykes car. And so the other thing that has recently required some assembly is actually what took these exact tools. And what I have here are, I've got 2 little Allen wrenches that have Phillips head screwdrivers on the other end as well, 2 different wrenches, and then another is kind of a faux socket. I think you're supposed to put either one of these through here. Oh yeah, okay, so that's what it is. You're supposed to put that there. My mother-in-law, my wife's mother, bought her a playset. And the funny thing is, with a lot of these kits, the little mini tool set that they give you doesn't actually work the way that you think it should. It does pretty well, don't get me wrong, but when you look at something like a play set with 4 swings and a slide on it that is roughly 8 to 10 feet long by however many feet tall, some assembly required with this, that can be a bit of a hassle. Ah, found the missing red crayon. There needs to be some kind of little survey where they say, hey, do you have this Allen wrench already? Do you have this socket set already? Should we really waste our resources and send you more? So that's kind of my minor gripe with some assembly required, is that they just send you some things and you end up like me with a massive pile of Allen wrenches that, sure, I use some of them every so often, but I've got a little multi-tool one that has a bunch of different ones on there, so I don't need it. My other minor gripe is, like I said, I'm talking about a swing set and they're giving me just these to put it together. Seems a little fishy. And actually it was, because for a couple reasons. First reason is I like to actually use my ratchet set. I like to use my Phillips head screwdrivers. The other part is you're sitting there and you're busting your knuckles trying to turn it. You can be sitting there for a while. So that's why it's just nicer to go ahead, break out the ratchet set, get the right socket on, and just go to town on it. And that's probably where I got a bunch of steps today. My wife says I cheated because I had 10,000 steps before 1 o'clock. And the other problem that comes into play with some assembly required when they only give you these kind of tools is when you do something that they may not have planned for. And by that I mean, so if you're anything like me, when you grew up and you had one of these play sets, I had a play set that had 2 swings, a seesaw, and a slide as well. I guess it was well put together because it lasted all the way through past high school. It became into like a hanging plant thing for my mom after a while. But it lasted and I played with it up until just around middle school. But that thing was only maybe 2 to 4 inches into the ground. And I remember swinging on that. And that was part of the fun, was seeing how far you could get those legs to come in and out of the ground. So what we did is, my father-in-law is an awesome builder. He makes sure that everything is done right. And so when we were getting ready to set up this swing set, we made sure that we set it down probably about 8 to 8.5 inches into the ground. There's quickcrete around all of them that are setting up. And like I said, we lost 8 inches into the ground. So as we get this thing set up, eventually what we ran into was the slide we didn't set in because we didn't really think too much about it. But eventually we lost those 8 inches. So suddenly the slide is sitting there way too high and it can't connect where it's supposed to connect. So that's where a little ingenuity came into play, and we had to actually drill out a couple holes through the frame to be able to still use one hole and get that slide to still mount properly, safely to the rest of the frame. And they didn't give me that drill. They didn't give me any of the 3 drill bits I used because I did a pilot hole, made it a little bigger, and made it to the size I needed. They didn't give me the drill or any of that. One of my favorite parts of Some Assembly Required is the tinkering and the looking at what you're supposed to be building and going, you know what? There's a better way. There's an easier way. There's a smarter way. There's a safer way. So yeah, that's this week's video. I kind of just wanted to brag / gripe a little bit about the fact that I have all of these Allen wrenches, and if you need an Allen wrench, just call me. I've got all sorts of them. I've got long ones, we've got short ones, we've got brass ones, we've got black ones, we've got itty bitty living space ones, kind of like that. I have Allen wrenches, it's not a problem. And now I have 2 more. So a little bit of a complaint there, but again, it's fun for the do-it-yourself, not completely build it all yourself from 2x4s and whatnot, but it's fun to get that do-it-yourself and some assembly required to, at the end, look at it and go, hey, I did that and I somewhat followed the directions. I only had, 30 different bolts left over. Actually, there was only 1. By the way, huge shout out as always to Aputure lights for the 5 MC lights that are helping me with my lighting in this video. They are not sponsoring this video, but I greatly appreciate the 4-light travel kit that they sent me. It has done wonders for helping me with my lighting, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more things with these lights, maybe some ideas of different ways to use them other than lighting this video. But I hope you will check out Aputure Lighting for any of your lighting needs. Check out their 4 travel light kit. It has been super easy to use. And a little bit of an orange and purple shout out for my Clemson Tigers as they completed the rivalry sweep over South Carolina. I love it that they are 11-0 for the first time since like 99 or something like that. So I hope you like this week's video. If you're like me and enjoy a little do-it-yourself, or if you enjoy those 3 little words, Some Assembly Required, go ahead and let me know about it down there in the comments section. Let me know some of your favorite projects that you've had to do, whether it be for a child, whether it be for yourself. Legos do count, by the way. I'm a big firm believer in Legos as do-it-yourself and Some Assembly Required and the fun that comes with that. And I will hopefully catch you in the next video.